Hello everyone, and this is BioPhoenix here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a PC Engine game, and that happens to be Takeda Shingen. So it's a game based after the real-life general Takeda Shingen, obviously. So the game was developed and published by Iacom Corporation and was released in 1989, only in Japan, and it is indeed a side-scrolling beat-em-up. But one thing that is interesting about this game is that it actually has a very similar concept and name to another game out there. It is also called Takeda Shingen for the arcade, but that one was made by Jellico or whatever. Now, I've only found one website trying to claim that it was like a direct port of the game, but I can't really confirm that for sure because all the other websites don't even mention it being like that, so I don't know, but I figured I'd mention it that yes, there is actually another game out there that has the same name, same concept, and the same genre and everything. And yeah, it even came out a year before this one, which is really ironic and weird. But yes, I don't really think I need to get too much into the story of this game. Not only is it very minimal and I can't read it, but also it's pretty obvious. You know, you get to play as Takeda Shingen, you gotta go kick the other army's asses. Not much more needed to be said there, but obviously it's a beat 'em up. You don't expect the story of this game to be like an RPG story or some shit. So onto the more important things, like the gameplay. So in this game, you can start from point A to point B, you gotta kill a bunch of bad guys that are in your way, and of course, as you kill them, you actually do get a little bit of EXP. And obviously, the more you get, the more stronger you get. So in a lot of ways, this game is a lot like Knights of the Round from Capcom, but only that this game came out first. So every once in a while, when you kill some bad guys, you end up gaining some health pickups, and of course there's also some baskets that when you destroy them, then they can unleash a trap of some sort that can help fight off some enemies. And there is a boss at the end of each stage, and after you beat the boss, then you get to go to a store where you can regain your health, and you can also get more EXP bonuses and all that kind of fun stuff. So for an early beat 'em up, it actually does have quite a bit of stuff in here, which I actually do appreciate. I was actually very surprised. So now, as for the game's controls, okay, so the controls in this game are very odd. Now, I don't think I need to go over the button layout. I mean, you move around, you jump, and attack with the two buttons. I mean, it's not hard to figure out. Now, the moving around in this game does feel a little bit slow. Now, it's not like super laggy or anything, but it just has like a slow movement type feel to it. It's definitely a much more slower paced beat 'em up than like many other stuff out there. The jumping feels decent, which I was actually surprised for a game like this. And the attacking in this game is the weird part. So here's how it goes, is that if you're just pressing the button and just attacking randomly, you know, it feels okay. You know, nothing like super smooth, but nothing super like laggy and delayed like shit. But it's just okay. But here's the biggest problem with the attacking in this game is that the hit detection is just so fucking bad in this game. Yeah, even though your character's sword in the game is pretty long, you still have to get pretty close up to them. And of course, sometimes when you attack, it looks like you can hit them, but you don't. And I'm not entirely sure on how close you have to be to get the exact distance for the hits to connect. But it isn't only just your sword, like even like the hitboxes on like the enemies and yourself is also a big issue too. And one thing that really does make this game a real pain in the ass is that the enemies can actually block your attacks, and you don't. Yeah, there are some boss fights in this game that are like super cheap like that, and it just pisses me off. So yeah, for the controls overall, it has some okay parts, and then for the attacking, it's just really not great. So now, let's get moving on to the game's graphics, and graphically, I think this is a really nice looking game. It has a lot of nice bright colors. I really do like the art style in the game. I really like the character designs and all that kind of stuff. I do think this is a really good looking early PC Engine game. In fact, that was really what got my attention with this game back then when I first discovered it, was just looking at the way how it looked and was like, man, that's a really nice, bright, and colorful game we got here. And of course, I am always interested in knowing more about games and like the history behind like the Sengoku period, but I won't drag you all down with a bunch of like random factoids that you probably didn't ask for about that. But yeah, overall, I do like the way this one looks, and as for the game's music, I do like it myself. Now, it's nothing super memorable, although I do find that the first stage music does get stuck in my head, but I do think it fits the game, and I do think it sounds pretty good for what it is. But I don't know, maybe I like the music more than most people would, but I personally did thought that the music was pretty good. So now, if you want to go out and buy yourself a copy of this game, so if you want to get a complete copy, I've actually seen some going for about $20 to $30, and as for loose copies, I've seen some go for like 12 to 20, so yeah, a pretty cheap game if I say so myself. So now, as my overall thoughts on the PC Engine game of Takeda Shingen is that, well, you can probably take a guess that, yeah, this game was almost good, but yeah, the attacking in this game was just really frustrating and a pain in the dick. So like I said previously, I really do like the Sengoku period concept, given that, you know, I am a fan of games like Sengoku Basara and Samurai Warriors and all that fun stuff. And having like a mindless beat 'em up being in like a side-scrolling view like the classic stuff with that setting is something I do think is pretty cool. And I do like the RPG elements in the game, and of course I also do like the fact that you can like go to a store and like buy like upgrades and like your health and such. So of just that, this actually does sound like a good game, but the attacking of this game just really ruins it. It's really unfortunate because like I said, I almost like it. Like this was almost a good game. Maybe not a great game, but a good game, but yeah, it just fell short with that hit detection. And one thing I haven't even explained yet, and this also pisses me off and is also like a terrible idea, was that when you die in this game, you have to start all the way back at the beginning. Yeah, no continues. If you die like near the end of the game, well, you gotta start all the way back at the beginning. So fuck that nonsense. And believe it or not, it took me so many tries just to try and beat the second boss of this game. I actually find that the second boss is like one of the most hardest bosses in this entire game, so that's another thing that also doesn't help either. So it pains me to say this, but it's a game that is not really good, and I can't really recommend it to most people. But you want to know what the weirdest thing was about this game is that even though this game has like a really crappy attacking and hit detection and all that bullshit, is that as much as it has all that, I couldn't stop playing the game. It was so weird. It was almost like I was like really trying hard to wanting to like it, but I couldn't, but for some reason I still kept playing anyways. I don't fucking know, man. But even knowing that though, I still can't recommend this game to most people unless you're really are curious and wanting to try it yourself, but just don't expect it to be good though, that's the thing. So yeah, if you want to go out and play a game that is kinda like this, I guess you can play that arcade version. I haven't actually tried it out yet, but it actually does look pretty decent, and maybe it is better. And then of course there is also Warriors of Fate from Capcom. That's also a pretty good one too, although I know it's from like the Chinese dynasty, not the Sengoku period, but fuck it, whatever. It's good shit. So yeah, that takes us to the end of this basic ass review of a game that is kinda crappy, but yet I couldn't stop playing it. But I still think it's kinda crappy, so yeah, there you have it guys. So thanks for watching, commenting, and have yourselves a great day.